Okay, today we are up to exercise 4.6, rearranging formulas. And what you're trying to do is make X the subject, or sometimes the question might say make P the subject. So you do actually need to read what the question says. Please write the heading and the first example. Okay, so making X a subject just means we want to have X by itself. So this is actually an S for Sam, not a 5. But if this was a 5 or any number, how would we get rid of that number? So if we had 10 times X, we'd divide both sides by 10. That would leave us with X as the subject. So in these questions, you don't necessarily have numbers. So we've got S times X. If we want to make X by itself, that's what that means, make X a subject. It means leave X by itself. So if that was a 10, we'd divide by 10. So we're going to divide both sides by S. Now when we do that, the S cancels out, as we know. I'm going to put the X on this side because we like it to be on the left-hand side. And so our answer, we can't go any further than that. Normally we would go, that might be a 20, so we'd do 20 divided by the 10. But because there's no numbers, it's just letters, then your answer is just X equals P over S. So you've got to remember all the rules that you've been taught in this chapter. This is the last one in the chapter, so it's going to use everything that you've known. So we have A times X and then plus B. Remember, when we want to get X by itself, we remove the thing furthest away from the X first. So the A is right next to it, so the plus B must have to go first. If that was a 5, so it was plus 5, you would minus 5. So don't be worried because it's a letter instead. So we're going to go plus B. So we get rid of this, we write minus B. And then so we're going to have Y minus B is equal to AX. Now this is the same as the top one. We wanted X by itself. So it's A times X. To get rid of this out the front, we're going to divide both sides by A. So on the right hand side, the A's cross out, so we're happy with that. We're left with X, which is what we want. These are all letters. There's no numbers. We can't do any more work. So we don't have to work out times tables or division. We just simply write the letters that are left. All right, so now after we taught that when we had one unknown on one side, then we've got more happening. So this time we've got 4 terms. Still just go back to the side where the X is. The thing that's furthest away is minus 4. So there is a number this time. So we are going to plus 4 to both sides. So they go. And we're going to have equals 3x on the right-hand side. Now, Y plus 8 plus 4, there is something we can do this time because there's numbers there. So 8 plus 4 is 12. So we write plus 12. And here we have the same thing we've been doing in each of these questions. 3 times X. How do you get rid of the 3? Divided by 3. So that whole thing has to be divided by 3. All right, they're going to cancel out. So we've got X equals Y plus 12 divided by 3. Now that can be the same as X equals Y over 3 plus 12 over 3. Okay, so you can see from that, we're still going to go X equals Y over 3. We can't do anything with that, so we just leave Y over 3. But 12 divided by 3 is 4. So if you can keep going with your numbers, please do. Okay, number 4 is just the exercise where we had to get rid of the brackets before we start doing our work. So remembering back, this is great revision. This is the same as 6 times X plus 6 times 2. And the right-hand side is going to be the same as 5 times Y plus 5 times 3. Now, you don't have to put that in if you don't want to. Once you did that exercise, if you know it really well, you could have just gone to this line. So you could go 6x plus 6 times 2 is 12. 5 times y is 5y plus 5 times 3 is 15. Now we're trying to get x by itself. So we want to look at this left-hand side this time. What's furthest from the x? The 12 is. What's the opposite of plus 12? Well, it's minus 12. I should have given myself more room. So you should be working down the page. All right, so on the left-hand side here, we're left with 6x. This is this here. And on the right-hand, we've got 5y. And now we've got plus 15 minus 12. So 15 minus 12 is plus 3. Now we haven't got x yet by itself. You have to keep going. So we're going to go divided by 6, divided by 6. X is equal to, now this is 5y over 6 plus this part, 3 over 6. So your answer is 5y over 6 plus, and you need to simplify that so it goes down to 1/2. I'm not sure what the book does. It might leave it as it is here, which is okay. It's just if you get a multiple choice question, the answer might look like this. So you should know how to keep going there. All right, this one, we've got just one bracket. So we're going to go x times a is xa. This is a minus this time, so minus. X times 3 is 3x. And an a plus 1 over here. Oh, I've made a mistake. What should I do? Actually, I'm going to leave my mistake. The mistake is that I shouldn't have multiplied that bracket out because now I've got 2 x's. So that's bad. We don't want that. All right, we want to actually keep our x's together. So the way we do that is we divide by whatever is multiplied by the x. Silly me. So this is going to be divided by that whole thing. Divided by a minus 3, divided by a minus 3. So your answer, so on this side, sorry I've made a mess of it, you cancel the 2a minus 3s, so you're left with x equals, and so on this side, you've got a plus 1 over a minus 3. Okay. Now, you might want to have a look at this one yourself and check back in with me in a minute. Okay, hopefully this was a bit difficult, but you still just move the whole thing. Then you divide both by 6. And the other way you might see this, 1/3, don't forget that's the same as plus y on 3. Okay, 1/3 y is the same as y over 3. So it might be looking that way. 2 more. Okay, second last one. Make C the subject. Okay, so don't be frightened if it's a different letter. So C's way up here. You can see we're going to have to do a few things for this one. The thing that's furthest away from the C is plus 32. So we're going to subtract 32. Subtract 32. Now we can't do anything with this because one's a letter and one's a number. So it's F minus 32 equals 9C divided by 5. This is quite a tricky one. All right, what do we do next? Here's C. So the thing that's furthest away is this. This is divided by 5. So we're going to multiply that by 5, and we're going to multiply this by 5. Now, let's see what this looks like. It is tricky. We multiplied by 5 so that they go. So this side is going to now be 9C. This side, we want the whole thing to be multiplied by 5. So we have to put the 5 out the front, and we have to put the rest in a bracket. So this is harder. Same principles apply. You've got 9 times C. So we're going to divide by 9. So we put the whole thing over 9. Cross out your 9s here. So you're left with C equals. And you just write everything you've got there because you can't do any more than that. So it's 5 F minus 32 divided by 9. Okay. All right, and one more to go. Let's see if I can move this. Sorry, we're a bit All right, make y the subject. All right, here's y. This is a tricky one. We can get rid of everything on the bottom if we put that bracket in. That might help you. So how do we get rid of x minus b? It's divided by. This is divided by x minus b. So we're going to multiply by x minus b. So we have to multiply this side by x minus b. Now, these all go. So the right-hand side is just y minus a. And the left-hand side, again, we need to use brackets because the whole part of this needs to be multiplied by m. So we put the m out the front, and we're going to have x minus b. Now, the last thing we do, we're trying to make y the subject. What's the opposite of minus a? It's plus a. So we have to add a to this side. So they're going to cancel, which is great. We're left with our y equals. And on the left-hand side, we've got m, x minus b over a. Excellent. Okay, so this is exercise 4.6. Where's my question? So if you'd like to write these down, 1a, c, d, e, g, h, 2a, b, d, e, g, I, k, l. And then you can start the chapter review. So these are the questions for the chapter review, but they are also on your lesson plan. You can press pause and write them from here or look on your lesson plan. Thanks, guys.